everybody, come on in. This is the Daily Bern. This is the war room of the political revolution. We gather here every day, the same time, 7 p.m. Central, every weekday, and we talk about this fight that we're in. We talk about what's going on, but we talk like winners in here, so come on in. What this is a motivational show that is built for all of us who are fighting out there every day in this political revolution. We gather here every day, like I said, and we talk about what we're up against. But in here, we own this. We are believers in here, and we know that it is us who must make this happen. That we have to be the ones to do the work to make these changes, and we are committed to doing just that. Because we understand that even though Bernie Sanders is a great man and has done tremendous work during his life, fighting for the people and building this movement to empower us to be able to make real change happen, I'm a very big fan of Bernie Sanders. I love the guy, to be honest. But in the end, we know that Bernie is just one man, and he cannot do any of this without us. So if you understand that this change must happen, and you are willing to put in the work to make sure that it does, then you have found your show. So come on in and remember to like and share, because we're just a little independent grassroots operation, and I depend on you guys to get this out and spread this message. So thank you very much for doing that. And please, feel free to take part in the show. We are live, and I love to hear from you guys. And we always have a great group of people here and a really great discussion. And any interaction in the show also helps us out because it tricks the algorithm. You know, that tricky little algorithm that suppresses everything that we try to get out there and keeps the message from getting out. Well, smashing the like buttons and all of that tricks the algorithm and makes it think it must be a good show, so it gets it out to more people. So smash those like buttons. That's what they're for, after all. And comment away, even if you're here later on. Because as everyone knows, you cannot be late to a Daily Bern. Anytime you're here, you are right on time. So thanks for coming, guys. Looks like everything's going good on both platforms. Hey, Jack, good to see you. Heath, Susan, good to see some people coming in. And we got some people here on YouTube as well. I've got a rant planned for you, a burn. That's what I usually call it. It ends up being a rant mostly, is what it ends up being. But we're going to go ahead and get started with that. So I was going through the news today to try to catch up on the day's events, after work. And I stumbled across a piece from Politico about how they're still launching an investigation into Hunter Biden. And the article had the nerve to suggest that with the coronavirus and all, we should really just let it all slide. This article was really implying that we should let it go, that we're in a crisis. Well, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, Politico. Hunter Biden is corrupt and dirty, and so is his daddy Joe. And we're not letting that slide. And we're not letting Tara Reade slide either, for that matter. Both stories, the media doesn't think are important, mind you. But oh my God, the amount of articles about how Bernie should drop out. That was the first thing that caught my attention. They're everywhere. If the mainstream media mentions Bernie at all anymore, it's just to say he needs to drop out. Which got me thinking, and I've been thinking this a lot lately, that it's got to be tough being Bernie Sanders right now. Now, I'm serious. It's got to be hard as hell to be Bernie Sanders in this current situation. Think about it. You've worked hard, consistently, your whole life, building something meaningful. And just as it reaches its climax, the powers that be unload literally everything on you all at once. And it hurts you, but nothing you can't come back from. But before you can begin to regroup, a global pandemic breaks out, and the core of your movement is taken away. The rallies, the campaigning, the town halls, all of it. The excitement and inspiration, the spirit of our movement has been effectively silenced. They are moving ahead with primaries even during a pandemic. They're limiting polling stations from 180 to 10 to 12. And they're doing that to suppress the vote. They're using this. That's how sick they are. And we've all seen the exit polls. The double-digit discrepancies always in Biden's favor. Bernie's seen them too. He knows. Now, imagine being Bernie Sanders during this. At this moment, with all of this going on, and you've been fighting for what is exactly needed right now, your entire career, your entire life. And then realize that Bernie is a badass for staying in this fight with us. Sheepdog my fat ass. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyway. The people that say that Bernie's sheepdogging for the Democratic Party, that is ridiculous. It makes no sense. But the pressure on that man right now is immense. And he is not only staying with us, he's gone ahead and become the damn president. Bernie is leading in this crisis every day, fighting for us. And meanwhile, where's Joe? Where is Joe Biden? He's running for president, isn't he? He's supposed to be the front runner, right? Is he acting like a leader right now? Joe Biden is incapable of being a leader, much less the leader that we need right now. He shows that every day that passes as he sits and does nothing. Joe Biden doesn't even know how to fight for the people. Joe is a Republican with a D next to his name. He fights for the establishment and big money interests. Well, he used to. Now he just mostly fights to remember where he is. Joe Biden has dementia. He is mentally unfit for the job, and worse than all of that, not that you need something to go on top of that, but here it is anyway, Joe Biden is a rapist. I don't know how you can listen to Tara Reade's story and not come to that conclusion, especially when you couple it with all the other allegations of harassment and the visual proof that Joe Biden just cannot respect personal space. Now, I never could have voted for Joe Biden for many, many reasons, much more than him being creepy. But now, after hearing Tara's story, there is no way in hell. And if you could, I have to ask you why. Is your Trump derangement syndrome so severe that you've lost all your logic and your morals? So now, let's role play a little more. Imagine you're Bernie again. Can you drop out at this point? Even if you wanted to, it'd be irresponsible. Integrity be damned. Bernie isn't going anywhere. And we can't stop. Now, I know that things are very discouraging right now in our fight. And this is all very strange and weird. It's uncharted waters. This has never happened. There's no reason we should know how to react to this. And we're up against a ton of stuff right now. I listed it all off already. I don't need to really say more. I think you know what I mean. But right now, we are more important to this fight than we have ever been. And it is time that we take it over. It's never been Bernie's job, but I think we need to own it now. We need to take over. Bernie can't have rallies. He can't travel the country, informing people, talking to people, holding town halls. And he's doing all that he can right now. But he needs us to activate in a big way. Because this is our fight. And we need to own it. We must be the media. We must spread the truth, inform the people, and keep the momentum going and the excitement alive. And you can choose how you look at the situation that we're in. It's really all about your mindset. And we've already committed to seeing this through no matter what. So there is no stopping. And it's one thing to say that and another thing to do it. It's time for us to push as hard as we can, to pick ourselves up, because this fight isn't over until we succeed. It doesn't even end when we get Bernie elected president. That's not the end. We don't stop until this is done. Till we get health care as a human right. Till we get people a living wage. Till we bring justice and compassion to society. Restore our election system. We have a lot to do. Our fight isn't over for a long time. We do not quit. We do not back down. And we do not settle for less. We are activated now. We're not turning off. And things are bad. Yes, they are. A lot of times, I don't know how to get this started lately. Because I'm not an expert. I'm not. I'm a student of history. I'm really a conspiracy theory guy. But I understand that this is the way change takes place. I don't believe in politics very much. Never cared much about it until Bernie, honestly. It's the first one I've ever been motivated to vote for, motivated to work for. But I believe in this movement. I believe in this revolution. Things are bad, and they will more than likely get worse. But this fight is still going on during all of this. And the powerful, they are damn sure using this crisis to their advantage. In more ways than one. But we need to do that too. And let me explain what I mean by that. This crisis has changed the game dramatically. But it's going to be in our favor, because everything that is happening and everything that will soon happen is going to magnify the need for this political revolution to succeed. Because things are going to get very bad for most people. And people who have been protected from the truth or have chosen to look away from the greed and corruption crippling our society will have to face it very soon, whether they want to or not. Because reality is going to come crashing in, and we have to show them the way. We have to teach them that the change that is needed in this situation is what this revolution offers, and show them it is possible. And we will win. We can't be stopped. The DNC and the oligarchs didn't create the virus, but they damn sure are trying to use it to their advantage. And like everything they have tried up until this point, it's going to blow up in their face. The truth is going to get very clear to everyone very soon. And they're finally going to realize what we've known all along. That this isn't an election. This is class warfare. We've been backed into a corner. It is now or never, and we are in a fight. And this is a war, and it has real casualties. People die from this greed-based system every day. People suffer from poverty every day and are overwhelmed with worry. They get defeated, depressed, and begin to feel hopeless for their futures. And this fight has raged on for centuries. It's gone too far. It must be stopped. They'll destroy everything. They'll never reach their full. They'll never have enough. And nothing's ever going to trickle down. They've never done anything for the people out of the goodness of their heart. Everything that the people have ever gotten, every damn thing, came about in the exact same way. When the people stood united and demanded it. That's the way that it's done. And it's the only way, and it always has been, and it always will be. And we're doing exactly that right now. It's not clever branding or a political slogan. This is a fight, and this is the people's revolution. And we're going to have to show them that. People are going to panic. And we have to show them that right now millions of people are united and determined to bring justice and compassion to society. And they are willing to do all that they can to ensure that everyone can live with dignity and have their basic needs met, and that this greed, which is the only damn reason that we can't have nice things, is finally put to an end. People are going to be frightened as reality slams into them, and we need to be right there to guide them. Do not let the media do it. We're the damn media. We show them the truth. We guide them forward, and we show them how to fight back. We empower them in this time of crisis, and we move this revolution forward. It's time for us to own this fight and take our roles as leaders in it. Now, Bernie is doing all that he can. This has restricted him heavily, and the mainstream media isn't helping things at all. But he's getting out to millions every day online, even though the media ignores him, and in doing that, they ignore us. They are an enemy and a weapon. And that's all they'll ever do. So we must show the people what is really going on and who is really to blame. That's our role. That's our job. We don't sit on our hands and wait for Bernie to do it all. That's not what he's taught us. It's never what he said. He never said he was going to do it all. He never said he could do it all. We double down. We double our efforts and carry this home on our own. It's time for us to own this. Bernie has his end covered. Don't worry about Bernie. That man is a literal badass and a hero for taking the abuse that he is taking on a daily basis and continuing to fight for the people just like he has always done. Stepping right into a leadership role and facing down the media propaganda machine, no matter how hard they try to shame him for it. He is doing all he can right now. It's our time to shine. Now, I know you're good at something. We all have strengths, so use yours. Do anything you can. Do all that you can to ensure that this revolution succeeds. Fight as hard as you can. Inform as many people as possible. And spread awareness at every opportunity. Create opportunities. And go to BernieSanders.com. See if there's any way for you to help out. Maybe by volunteering, buying some swag to sport in public, raise awareness, getting a bumper sticker. This is a great way to raise awareness. You'd be surprised how much conversation that starts. I get excited when I see one. Other people do too. Get you a bumper sticker. They're usually free if you donate a few bucks. If you can donate, please do that as well. Anything that you can do. But most importantly, keep pushing forward. Everything's insane right now. And I'm not going to lie about that. But we keep fighting. We keep moving forward. This is our moment. So stay united and believe that we can do this. And move forward no matter what gets in our way. Because that's how winning is done. And this was never going to be easy. So don't quit now just because it's getting hard. We adapt, we overcome, and we stay focused on our goals moving forward. Because like I said already, our mind is made up. This isn't Bernie or bust. It's Bernie or vest. We are all in, and there is no backing down. We cannot quit. It's not an option. Lisa says, I got my bumper sticker already. That's awesome. I got two on my car. I have the FDR Circle, which was so hard to get a hold of, and this one, the regular Bernie bumper sticker. I'm almost going to put this one on there too and have three on there if I can find a fourth to round it out, because I have to have symmetry. I don't know why, but I'm anal about it. Jack says I have 4 yard signs and a bumper sticker. That stuff is very important. People honk when they go by all the time for the yard sign. People love seeing that stuff, and they need to see that excitement. And that's what we do. He says, I think things as things start to get worse, more people will rally to us and real change will take place. I believe that you're right. We're the only fight in town against what's really going on. There's no other fight. We're the only thing that is really going against the establishment system that lords over the people, the oligarchs, and those that have bought up our country. People will see, because it's going to be impossible not to. Your enemies are going to become very clear very quickly. It's a big club, and we're not in it, and we're going to be the ones hurting. But people are going to need guidance. You have to remember that. And we can't let the media do it. That's our job. We have to inform people. We have to spread the truth. And we have to show them what's really going on and the path forward. That's most important. They want these things. People want health care. They want a living wage. They want to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure and create all these new jobs and to build a future. They want all that. They need to see that it's possible. Need it explained to them that it can be done, and they will get involved. And we don't need everybody. We just need to stand united, stay united, move forward determined. And our numbers will overwhelm them. This was never going to be won just in the voting booths anyway, but I really do think it's our time now to take hold of this 100% and just run forward like it's ours. Jack says Bernie won mayor 4 times as an independent. Bernie could win this election as an independent, and it may come to that. I hope that we can achieve getting the Democratic nomination. I would hate to see Bernie put in the position to have to make that decision to run third party. But there is no other decision. As I was explaining, or I tried to explain in the Bern, it's irresponsible to drop out at this point. He couldn't, even if he wanted to. Joe Biden would lose. Joe Biden is an enemy of the people, an enemy of progress, in the same ways as Hillary Clinton. But Joe Biden is also mentally unfit for the job. And you have to be morally opposed to him. As I was explaining, what the hell happened to the Me Too movement? You see that Alyssa Milano has lost her mind in Joe Biden worship? Is completely oblivious to these rape allegations? Where'd she go? Wasn't she a huge feminist in the Me Too movement? The power of this media is amazing sometimes. They can hide things from people and pull the focus. But if you can sell out like that, what does that say about you? Yeah, Lisa says Alyssa Milano's a paid bot. Yeah. That's another one that bugs me. I liked her too. They say never meet your heroes. You know what I mean? Not that she was ever a hero of mine. I was a fan. But I thought she might be cool. No. Turns out I was dead wrong. Susan said Alyssa Milano can kiss my progressive ass. Mine too. Mine too. These people are enemies. They're enemies of the people. They're enemies of progress. And they're so out of touch. Like Whoopi Goldberg is completely out of touch with reality. And for her to sit there the other day and berate Bernie Sanders about why he would stay in this race when we're not even that far behind, the primary still has a lot to go, and there's no reason for him to drop out. But she sat there anyway and just over and over again, very disrespectfully, berated Bernie about why he would stay in and accused him of doing damage. Such a sellout. But they're our enemy. That's their job. And Lisa might be right. It wouldn't surprise me. Alyssa Milano's career is over. So if she's getting money to spread her agenda, that makes sense. Lisa says, don't forget to smash the traction button to show love for this live stream. I try to say that. The reaction button is what she meant. I try to say that in the opening because she's right. And I didn't used to think that. I didn't used to understand the algorithm. But interaction in the show, all interaction, like commenting, hitting like, any of that, helps us do better in the algorithm, helps us get out to more people. Because this is heavily suppressed. Like yesterday's episode, for example, was shared 39 times. And we only got about an average of 10 views from each share. That's because they're making sure that stuff like this doesn't get out as much as they can. So to defeat the algorithm, the interaction trick does seem to work. Jack says, you tried to get a hold of Nina for me the other day. You need to get her on your feed. Jack wants me to get Nina Turner. Jack thinks Nina would do the burn. So you tell me how you got a hold of Nina. Would you do email her office? Like, how would you go about it? I'll try it for you, Jack. Jones says, I'm in Pennsylvania. Is that what PA? I don't know the state abbreviations. I guessed Pennsylvania. I deserve a choice of candidate also. Yeah. She doesn't get to vote. Jones' vote is not important. This isn't over. You know, did they treat Obama like this when he was behind, running against Hillary? Wasn't he about this far behind at this point? Jones says that my show won't play on my... Oh, I thought I could read more, but that's the only comment. Oh, Jack says you contacted her on her Facebook page or her web page. I'll get in touch with her. I'll try, Jack. I'll make an effort. Why be defeated? You know, why assume she wouldn't come on? He says that would be something Bernie will use when Bernie wins. What will? Damien says your live count has been 3 throughout the whole chat, even though more than 10 different people come on Facebook Lives. Yeah, I've also been told that the view count's not accurate. Another thing that they do, and I don't want to get too caught up on this, but there's heavy censorship going on. Another thing they do is they steal views because people are less likely to watch if it doesn't have a lot of views. Sometimes they'll take my views all the way down to 0. It's funny what they do. They're spending a lot of effort to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't get out. And I don't even talk about news or anything like that. This is just a motivational show for the most part. The beginning is always a little bit of a rant about how we need to keep moving forward, keep doing all we can, and we can win. And then we hang out and talk. But it's heavily suppressed. They don't want people informing others that you can stop this greed, you can take down this rigged system, you can fight back. They don't want us doing that. Jack says he sees 13 people, 15. He says Whoopi tried to get him to drop out amongst others. That made me mad. Did you see it? The View? I'll describe it to you so you don't have to watch it. Please don't watch it. But she was ignorant to him. Over and over and over again, she pressured him on why he would drop out. And then would like scoff when he'd go to answer. He'd answer basically what Joan was saying, that she deserves the vote. You know, a lot of people haven't been able to participate in this primary yet. And he's not that far behind. So it wouldn't make any sense. But she kept on. And she laughed at him a couple times. I was mad at her. I really was. I was upset. I felt like she was way out of line. Linda says, I can't see any of the comments. We're on in 2 different places, Linda. You are the first one to comment on YouTube. YouTube is sometimes an active group, but a lot of times a really quiet group. We're also on Facebook, though. We're on in 2 different places. And I'm trying to figure out how to get onto a few more. I can stream up to 5 on the service I use. But that's why you're not seeing the comments, Linda, because a lot of what I'm reading is coming from Facebook. Joan says, your show won't play on my home computer. There's hardwired, so I can only watch on my phone. And this keeps cutting out also. Is that something anyone else runs into? I've had people, the cutting out, We should be very good on settings at this point, and it's been smooth for me lately. But I've heard that a lot of times, and I get paranoid. We're spending a lot of time on it. I apologize, but I get paranoid that they mess with us. You know, but let's see. No, that's concerning that it won't play on your computer. See, I don't have any problem. I can pull it up on my computer. I can pull it up on my phone. Um, I'm not sure what that would be. Jack says I don't seem to be having any problems. He says his phone does every now and then. You're not alone, Joan. And there's other people. And on YouTube, I get a lot of people that tell me there's throttling going on. The feed will lag and stuff like that. That's been going on for a long time. But it's just what we're up against. They've corporatized censorship. And now corporations are in charge of what gets out and what gets seen and what rises to the top. We just have to fight it as hard as we can. So we can do little things like tricking the algorithm and sharing as much as we can. It helps to have groups. Groups help get things out. There's different ways. We just have to get creative. But I wouldn't get too attached because they're slowly taking it away. And they will. If they ever needed to, they would absolutely instantly take it away. They do it around the world. When these uprisings that were happening before this virus broke out, there were social media shutdowns during that. They pull the rug out at any time they want to. So I wouldn't get too in love with it. Lisa says that she's not having any problems either. I've had a lot of people tell me that they do, though. Lisa says maybe we can share the live stream directly from the War Room Facebook page. Are you having problems sharing? See, I don't know. We got way distracted, and I apologize, but I don't know what's the best way to get things out. So I thought a page, coming from a page, was the best way to go. But if that's restricting your sharing, then I don't want to do that. I'd rather come from my timeline. But anyways, this got off the rails. I apologize for that. It ended up being about live streaming. I don't know how that happened. But this is the Daily Bern. This is a motivational show for the political revolution. And what we always talk about in here is this fight. But we talk like winners and we own it because we know that it must succeed. This must happen. And we know that there's no better opportunity coming along. We're not going to get a better chance to make these changes. And we don't have time. There's a lot of reasons why this must happen now. And the good news that I try to share on this show is that it is. So we need to get as many people informed and active and involved in our fight and make sure that we move it forward and make this happen. Make this a reality. Because we will win. He says we win together in solidarity. We will win. Not Bernie. Us. Bernie put together a beautiful revolution. It's really spectacular what he did. And he's running a great campaign. He's a fantastic candidate. He's 40-something years of work for the people that we can all proudly sell. There's nothing. I've not seen anything in his closet that I'm ashamed of, or we have to, oh man, I hope they don't bring up this. He's a great candidate and built a good, solid foundation for us to move forward on. But it's time for us to own it. It's time for us to do the work and us to realize that we need to pick up that slack. The excitement that went away with the rallies dying off. his ability to get out and have those interactions with the town halls and all the things they were doing. They would have 7, 8 events every town they stopped in. The campaign was working their ass off, and that all had to stop. And millions of people watch Bernie on his live streams. And he's doing a lot of work, doing great work, leading the country right now. And I'm very happy with that. But we have to do all we can. All we can to make this happen. And this is our time. People are going to start suffering. And they're going to be looking for a way, what to do. And they're going to be a lot more open than they had been. Susan says, Bernie knows how to rock this. I'm so proud to be Bernie or Vest. What we're doing is going to be remembered historically. It just isn't being talked about as it happens, which is unfortunate. But that's because the media is a weapon. It's weaponized propaganda. It's not for information. It's for holding society down, keeping us held back. Joan says, what's my opinion on mail-in voting? Do you think they will conveniently get lost in the mail? That is my concern. I worry a lot about the voting part in general. They rig in every way that they can. And I've read too many things about mail-in ballots like failing to be counted or accidentally getting lost, turning up in storage sheds. Like, it worries me. But they are closing 170 polling places and holding a primary. It is insane what they're doing. I don't know how we fight this as far as the voting goes. And I don't want to turn people off to mailing in their ballot, because who wants to go stand in line at a polling place right now? That's why they're doing that. That's why they're moving forward, because low voter turnout always works out in their favor. Susan says that Bernie's texting team told her that absentee ballot was the safest bet. So that's where I would go. I just don't know. We win this fight by a whole lot other reasons than the voting booth. They're rigging the shit out of this election. I'm sorry. I apologize for my slip of the tongue there. I try not to cuss on here. This is the one show where I try to be good. I try real hard to watch my mouth. Jack says, if someone has t-shirts printer, here you go. And you got to donate to Bernie. A good high matters on quarantine. Oh, a good high matters on quarantine. I'm sure it does. I'm sure that does see you through. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I apologize that we went a little sideways. But we always hang out after the burn and just talk. Thanks for watching, though, and I appreciate everything you're doing out there in this fight. Keep moving forward. We will win. But I just really think that we have to take complete ownership of this now and not wait around for Bernie. He's doing all he can. We need to do our part. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys on the next Daily Bern Monday. Come back. Join the page. This page on Facebook that we're running the show from, Our Revolution War Room, that's my page. I made it up for this show. And if you like this show, follow the page. But we'll see you Monday on the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.